Welcome to the Ground Zero Self-Published Author Introduction course. The time, work, and money it really takes to self-publish your book from start to finish. Presented by Path to Publishing, your author assistance company and literary service provider, meeting you wherever you are on your literary journey and then chauffeuring you to your final destination of literary success.
What you will learn in this course. You will learn every single step it takes to self-publish a book. Not only every single step, but the amount of dollars you will spend for each step. Again, you're not going to find too many programs out there who, one, is going to give you every single bit of information this course is going to give you, as well as an estimate or pretty much close to the near exact dollar amount you're going to spend to get the job done. So again, we're going to learn every single step it takes to self-publish a book, the price range each and every step is going to cost you, and the actual time, work, and effort it takes to self-publish a book. After completing the Ground Zero Self-Published Author course, you will be able to self-publish a book, become a published author, but not only that, you will become a publisher. That's right, a publisher, a company, an entity that is putting out a piece of work. And what's so amazing is that so many authors don't even realize that when they begin this process, it's something bigger than just having your name on the book, but you are actually becoming a publisher. Once you learn this process, you can put out more of your own books or even other authors' books. So again, you'll not only have self-published a book, not only will you be an author, but you will be a publisher.
Why self-publish your book? So you can be the boss of you. I mean, what better reason is there than that? No, but seriously, being your own boss when it comes to the writing process and the publishing process of your book, baby, that is an important factor and a great reason to choose self-publishing as your path to publication. But not only that, you get to tell your story how you want to tell it and when you want to tell it. Did you know that in the average traditional publishing contract, there is a clause in there that states that your publisher has anywhere from 18 to 24 months to publish your book upon the signing of the contract? And even then, your publisher has the right to push your publication date back if need be. But when you are self-publishing, you are in control. If you want to take 18 to 24 months, that's your prerogative. If you want to push that sale date back, that's your choice. You get to make that decision. So being the boss is great, but I'll be honest with you, it can be a double-edged sword. That means every step of the writing and publishing process is on you. You have to put that publishing team together. With a publisher, yes, you have that publishing team. They have editors in place. They have book cover designers in place. They have typesetters in place. They have your proofreaders in place. They have those the ebook conversion. All of that is going to be taken care of. But it's not to say that you can't do it as a self-published author. You too just need that same team. That's what Path to Publishing is. We look at ourselves as the indie authors, the self-published authors, even some traditionally published authors. We look at ourselves as their publishing team because there's things that you even need to do post-publication where you're going to need that team to assist you. So, again, it can be a double-edged sword depending on the type of person you are. If you're a DIYer, a do-it-yourselfer, did I just say that right? DIY? Yeah, wait, DIY? Yeah, DIYer, a do-it-yourselfer. Yeah, see, I got it. Then, oh my gosh, This self-publishing journey, you're going to simply love it. Maybe not every step, maybe not every task, but if it's in your blood, if it's in your nature to really be in control, then again, this is going to be a great option for you to choose for the publication of your book. Now, there's so many different paths to publishing your book. I've mentioned traditional, I've mentioned self-publishing, but you have self-publishing on your own where you're finding your distributors, your wholesalers, all of that. And then you also have assistance with assistance with the self-publishing process. Again, that's what a company like Path to Publishing would help you do, help you complete those steps and those tasks needed to write and publish your book. Another path to publication is POD, print on demand. Amazon, Ingram, they offer those type of services. There's no upfront printing costs. There's no warehousing. There's no packaging and shipping books. When you're self-publishing all on your own, I mean, those books are stacked in your garage or your basement or your living room, but hopefully you're working with a marketing companion. You have your marketing team and they're helping you get those books out of there. You have your street team, aka book ambassadors, who are helping you get the word out there about your book. And so those books aren't just collecting dust in your basement, in your living room, in your garage, wherever you may be storing them. But with self-publishing, all of that is on you, baby. But with POD self-publishing, again, there's no upfront printing costs. You don't have to worry about warehousing, filling the guest room with books so that you can't tell your mother-in-law can't come visit you. Depending on your relationship with your mother-in-law, that might be a plus. But anywho, you don't have to worry about the packaging, the shipping, the trips to the post office, and all of that when you do the POD publishing. Assisted publishing, I mentioned, that's author assistance, a literary service provider company such as Path to Publishing. There's also collaborative publishing, known as hybrid publishers, okay? Not to be confused with a hybrid author. Being a hybrid author simply means you chose different paths to publishing your book. So, for example, I'm a hybrid author. I have some books that are traditionally published. I have some books that are self-published. I have some books that are POD. So I've chosen different paths to publishing my literary projects, and I choose those paths based on the goals I set for my books, okay? But again, collaborative publishing, also known as working with a hybrid publisher, it subsidizes the cost of publishing. When you're working with a hybrid publisher versus a traditional publisher, you're going to get a larger advance, but that's because you're going to be paying toward some of the tasks needed to publish your book. Once upon a time, there was a saying that if you had to pay to publish your book, it wasn't a real publisher. That is no longer the case because that is exactly what a hybrid publisher does. They're collaborating with you. They're subsidizing the cost of publishing. Now, a hybrid publisher is not to be confused with a vanity press publisher, okay? What's the difference between the vanity press publisher? You are the vanity press publisher's product. You, the author. With a hybrid publisher, the book is the product. They are invested in your success as an author and the success of the book, and they have a vetting process. Okay, they're going to have submission guidelines. They're going to read these books and determine if it can be successful, if it can make them money. Because, hey, writing may be a passion, writing may be a love, writing may be a hobby, writing may even be a ministry, but publishing is a business, and publishing companies, publishers want to make money. So they're going to be vested, and they're going to have a vetting process. Now, with the vanity press publisher, again, you, the author, you are their product. They're going to make so much money off of you, it doesn't matter if you sell a single book or not. They've already sold a $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, $30, $35, $40, $45, $50,000 package to you. So they've already made their money, and they're not going to vet the content of your book. Again, whether your book sells or not, it means nothing to them because you are their product. They need you to buy one of their packages to make money off of you so that they can put that book out there. That's how they lure authors in with, you get 100% royalties. Yeah, you get 100% royalties. It's your book. Okay, it's your book, and they don't care if you sell one or not. They've already made their money from you. So again, they're not going to vet the book. They don't have any vested interest. They are not going to take a loss if your book does not sell. Okay? So again, those are the different paths to publishing. And just to run that down again, you have your traditional publishing. A lot of people, think of the big New York publishers, but you also have smaller presses, independent publishers. You even have regional publishers. Okay, but that's your traditional publisher. You have someone else, a publishing company, fully backing you in the process. And then with self-publishing, you're doing the self-publishing fully on your own, which I do not suggest, because let me tell you, my friends, the path to publishing, the path to publication, getting your book out there, it is no joyride. It is a journey. One you should not travel alone, but many have done so. But I do not recommend that. But there are, again, those DIYers, and they want to be in full control and do everything. But let me be the one to tell you, it's okay to delegate. And you're going to have so much more success if you have an actual publishing team, because you're not going to be burnt out and worn out trying to do it all. But that is a whole nother webinar, a whole nother lesson. Okay. But just the self-publishing on your own. And then you can have the self-publishing where you're working with an author assistance company or a literary service provider such as Path to Publishing. And then there's the POD. With print on demand. Now, you can do the print on demand. Again, it's no upfront printing costs, no warehousing, no packaging, and no shipping. And you can do that regardless of which type of self-publishing you do. But I always suggest my clients to have their own personal inventory. And if you're going to do a pre-order campaign, which is something we talk about in the full course, it's sometimes a good idea to go with a neighborhood printer for a digital print run, or even offset printing, depending on how many copies you sell in advance prior to your publication date. Okay. And again, you have your collaborative publishing, your hybrid publisher, working with a hybrid publisher, not to be confused with a vanity press publisher where you, the author, you are their product, not the book. So think about these different paths to publishing and decide why you would choose one over the other. But in this particular webinar, we're going to stick to the path of self-publishing.
So now that I've got you all pumped up and ready to self-publish, what do you want to self-publish? What can you possibly self-publish? How about your story, a journal, a speaking tool? And what I mean by that is, let's say you're already doing public speaking, you're a paid speaker, you're a keynote speaker, you're an expert in an area, you speak on relationships, finances, and you just need that tool to extend your reach beyond the conference room, beyond the workshop. And so you want that tool to carry with you and maybe sell a gazillion copies of in the back of the hotel conference room after your speech. That's what I mean by speaking tool. You can publish a book of photographs, quotes, planners, a book of poems, jokes, blogs, adult coloring books, devotionals, low content items like journals and planners and quotes. Those are becoming a really big thing. So don't think you have to publish some 300-page book. No, you can publish whatever idea, thought, concept, and message that you want to get out and share with the world. And what else to self-publish? A book, of course. So if you are that author who has a 300-page manuscript that you're ready to publish and share with the world, you're in the right place too.
Why choose Path to Publishing to help you build toward your literary empire? Well, for starters, your instructor, Joylyn M. Ross, that would be me, who is also Path to Publishing's CEO and founder, has over 2 decades of experience in the literary industry. I both self published and I've traditionally published with some of the major publishing houses in New York, as well as some small independent publishers. I've also done POD, print on demand, with several of my projects. I'm an editor by trade, both freelance editing and I've done editing for publishing houses. As a matter of fact, I was the acquisitions editor and content developmental editor for New York Times best-selling author Carl Weber's Urban Christian imprint for 10 years. I'm also a literary agent. I've landed my clients book deals with publishing houses such as Simon and Schuster, Random House, Kensington, Urban Books, to name a few. I'm a ghostwriter, both freelance and for major publishing houses, as well as, again, some independent presses, smaller publishing houses. I'm a literary consultant, I'm a publishing coach, and I'm a literary educator. But I've also been coined the literary know it all, not only because I want you to know it all when it comes to writing a book in excellence and knowing it all when it comes to publishing a book in excellence. But I want you to know it all when it comes to your literary career and meeting your measure of both literary success and financial literary success. Why else should you choose Path to Publishing to help you build your literary empire? Path to Publishing's team of experts and industry professionals, aka literary companions, BKA your publishing team, have been serving clients, aka writers, authors, and even those self-proclaimed non-writers, BKA pathfinders, for over 2 decades. The combined years of experience of Path to Publishing's literary companions exceeds a century. That includes our book coaching companions, our ghostwriting companions, our editing companions, our book cover design companions, our interior design companions, also known as typesetters, our social media companions, our book marketing companions, you name it. Path to Publishing has the expert and the industry professional you need to help you implement and execute every task needed along your literary journey in order to both write that book in excellence and publish that book in excellence. Not to mention, distribute and sell that book in excellence.
So I want to share just a little bit more about myself before you allow me to jump into the vehicle on your literary journey, push you over to the side to right, shotgun, and chauffeur you down the path. Because in essence, you are trusting me with your words. You are trusting me with your literary career. And I want you to know all you can know about this person chauffeuring you down your journey, down your path to self-publishing. I'm a national and award-winning best-selling author. I currently write Christian fiction under the name Blessed Selling Author E.N. Joy. I formerly wrote secular books under the names Joylyn M. Jossel and Joy. And I currently write children's and middle grade books under the name Enjoy. I am an award-winning author, and I'm an award-winning author because I say that, I express that because I see several authors out there, and everyone's an award-winning author, and everyone's a national best-selling author, and you really don't know what type of metric they're using to be able to crown themselves with that. So I just want to distinguish that any title I've been given, I've earned for one reason or another. So I'm an award-winning author because I received the Borders Romance Writers Award, and I received that for an anthology I did with none other than the Queen of Romance, Brenda Jackson. Yes, I got to work with New York Times best-selling author Brenda Jackson, and we received that Borders Romance Writers Award. My children's book, The Secret Olivia Told Me, received an American Library Association Coretta Scott King honor. That book went on to be acquired by Scholastic Books and is on book tours at the Scholastic Book Fairs all over the country. I was Black Pearls Magazine Author of the Year in 2016. I made the Essence Magazine bestsellers list multiple times, and one of my titles appeared in Newsweek magazine and then went on to be translated to Japanese. I know you guys are saying, oh my goodness, she's so vain. She keeps talking about herself. But no, I really want you to know that you are in good hands. And not only that, I'm proud of these achievements because of where I started from. Now, I'm going to take a minute here to show you where I started from. I used to cringe and I used to not want to show people and tell people this, but you're going to trust me with your story, with your words, so I have to trust you with mine. And so there you have it. I've just popped the trunk of the very first vehicle that I put on the road for my journey towards literary success. The first vehicle I put on the road on my path to self-publishing. Please tell me if the grass is greener. Yep, that's me. That's my book. And no, there's nothing wrong with your screen. That very first edition is on 8.5 by 11 paper with a spiral comb holding that baby together. Yep, that's my very first self-published book. And I'm telling you, I took that baby to beauty shops, barber shops, gas stations. If I had dentist appointment, doctor's appointment, I was so proud to be able to call myself a self-published author. I did it. I got my words out there. Did I do it right? But I got written. But you got to do better. And at least I knew that I needed to do better. But I had to just come up with the resources and the means. And this is how I did it. So I went to Staples. I bought this binding machine. I think it was like $197. And I went and I printed off this book and I sold and I hustled those babies like nobody's business. And I took every dime that I made and I put it right back into my book, my business, my words. And I actually went to a real printer the second time around for the second edition. And I got 1,000 of those black and white books. Yep, you see that, black and white. I couldn't afford the 4-color process, but at least I could afford a real printer this time. So I'm getting better. I'm learning. Bear with me. Hang in there. And as you can tell, that's not the job of a professional book cover designer. That's my own handiwork. Thank you very much. I mean, you could tell by the font. This was what was called camera ready. I didn't know anything about typesetters, which is things you're going to learn about in the actual course. I didn't know about book cover designers and how much it would cost. I just knew it would cost something, and I didn't have any money. I mean, come on, for Pete's sakes. I put my first book on 8.5 by 11 paper that looked like I was sitting in a mansion somewhere with money to burn. So I still did a little better. I got a book done. At least it was a professional printer. I printed off about 1,000 copies of those, and I sold every last one. I mean, I remember going to huge festivals like the Essence Book Festival in New Orleans, and I was up against some New York Times best-selling authors, some other vet authors, and even newer authors that had good enough sense to not put a product out there that didn't need to be out there on the shelves. But I was pitching that thing. I was so proud, and I was so passionate. It wasn't even about money. It was just about getting that story out. Because of course I didn't have any money. If I hadn't known it was about money, I probably would have waited. I don't know what I would have done. I don't know what I would have done. I can't even say my journey would have been any different had I known better. But by the time I get to the third edition, I'm in some communities now. We don't have Facebook and all of that, but we have those Yahoo groups. Do you guys remember those Yahoo groups? So I got in a group, and they were all authors who wanted to get their words and their messages out, and they were self-publishing. We were all learning the process together, and we were all sharing. It was just the quality of sharing. So I learned what I needed to do, and there were people to help me. There were actually people in the group who were book cover designers, who were typesetters, who actually finally I got the professional book cover design. I had a beautiful interior for this book. I mean, I was proud of that first version. I'm not going to take anything away from that first edition, because hey, that's what put me on my map anyway. put me on the map of my own literary world. But I learned this process, and with each book, almost 30 books later, I got better and better, and I learned more. I made it my business. I made it a point to learn each day. To this day, I'm still reading books on the self-publishing process. I'm still taking webinars, and I'm still taking courses, and I'm still talking with other consultants, and I'm still talking with other coaches, because I want to make sure I'm not missing a thing. And I love it. I love it when I don't learn something new, because that means, hey, I'm there. I'm there. But I also love it when I do learn something new, because then I can give it and I can share it. At this point, I can't even tell you how many books I've read, how many webinars, how many courses, how much research, how many hours of research that I've done, how many other consultants I've talked to, how many other coaches I've talked to, publishing coaches. I refused to ever put out a product that does not meet industry standard, my standard, and a reader's standard. So yes, these are my humble beginnings. So don't get scared. Please don't get scared. This is just where I started. And now I'm here. What you are looking at is an actual picture I took with my camera phone one day when I walked into Barnes & Noble. Not only did I find a copy of my book on the shelf, I found several copies of several of my titles on the shelf in Barnes & Noble. Did you think I ever imagined that when I was running around town with that 8.5 by 11 self-published book with a plastic binding comb keeping it together? I never imagined such a thing. But now this is my reality, and it could very well be yours. And I know it's meant to be. I know it's your destiny. You wouldn't even be watching this if it wasn't. Let me just share something personal with you. Every year I go into the new year and I ask God, how are we going to do this? How am I going to get it done this year? Because I've been self-published. I've been self-employed, not just self-published. I've been self-employed ever since I got laid off of work about 16, 17 years ago. So I always got to ask God, how are we going to do this? The self-employed thing and the consulting thing, it goes up and down. It has its drought seasons. You never know what the year is going to look like. So I always have to ask God. And he said, this year, your success is going to be based off of the success of the people you help win. God has been working with me to humble me to realize I'm not going to be in the spotlight anymore. I'm not going to be this person who walks into the Barnes and Nobles and all of my books are going to be on the bookshelf. It's going to be my clients. It's going to be those people who I'm instructing, who I'm teaching, those people who I help win. Those people are you. So I say all of this to say, if you're one of these people who my success is based off of, I'm going to need you to hurry up and make a move here. Hey, like I said earlier, what you do, your gift, your blessing, your gift, it's a blessing to someone else. It's attached to someone else. What you do is attached to me. What I've done is attached to you. You have something. I had something. Again, I had no idea this journey wasn't about me. I started it under Joylyn M. Jossel. I went to Joy, Enjoy, and now I'm Joylyn M. Ross, literary consultant, online instructor, workshop presenter, panelist, paid speaker. I mean, you name it. And that literary journey, that self-publishing journey, that publishing journey was all so that I can share it with you. So I'm sharing my gift. I'll be able to sleep at night. I'm sharing my gift. Are you going to share yours? So if you're serious and you're ready for people to take you serious by being serious and staying serious, then let's get started on your path to self-publishing. On your mark, get set, go!
A book starts with an idea, thought, concept, a message you want to deliver, aka your intellectual property. All of those thoughts, ideas, concepts, messages, stories, and testimonies you want to share and deliver, that is your intellectual property. It's not just an idea, thought, concept, and a message. It is your gold mine. And my friends, your gold mine is your gold mine.
So now we need to get your idea or thought out of your head. If you haven't already done so, that is, of course. Now, some ways you can do that is you can jot down or voice record your thoughts and ideas. You can text yourself. You can send yourself a voice message, use sticky notes, a napkin. You can talk out your ideas to yourself and others. You can type them out. Whatever you need to do, just get those thoughts and ideas out of your head. And I'm telling you, if something pops into your head in the middle of the night, do not tell yourself, oh, I'll remember it in the morning. I'll go get on my computer or my notebook. Trust me, you will not remember it come morning time. So no matter how tired you are, grab the nearest thing. I mean, our cell phones are usually only a foot away. Grab the cell phone, text yourself, call yourself, do what you need to do. Just get those ideas, those thoughts, whatever that message is, whatever that burning desire that's in you, get it out. Get it on paper. Get it wherever you need to get it, so that it can be the beginning process of getting it in a book and getting it published. Put your story on paper or a computer, of course. So this is ground zero. So I have to meet the ground zero authors where they are. So again, if you want to longhand that story, that message, that book, then let's start off with the notebook paper and pen, pencil, what have you. So again, you're going to look from anywhere $1 to $10. Your laptop. Yes, you can get a laptop for $50, refurbished, some even new. Try Groupon.com. Wonderful deals on computers and laptops and tablets. But anywhere from $50 to, 2,000 and up. I mean, if you want to go Mac style. My husband actually prefers the Mac. I have the hardest time in the universe learning how to use the Mac. It was like switching from an Android to an iPhone. But my husband does digital film, so he needed something a little bit more fancier than what I was working with. So he goes top of the line and heads over to Best Buy and gets that expensive Mac. Wow. Like I said, I look for a Groupon. Nonetheless, computer. $50 to 3,000 again, where it depends on wherever you want to start in the chain of technology. Again, I love Groupon. I grab my kids' tablets and I grab myself, tablets, travel tablets. So, I have multiple pieces of technology plus the notebook that I still use to get my stories and my notes out. So again, the tablet, $50, 500. And of course, you can go over these prices that I'm giving you. It just depends on your budget, depends on, are you putting out a book? I have clients to me and they let me know, hey, this is my story. I'm telling it once as if I'm telling it to Oprah. There are no more. Nothing else is coming out of me. This is it. So of course, you'll be on the lower end since hey, this is it. But if you plan on becoming uh, a publisher of multiple books, whether they're your own or you want to publish other authors, you may want to, somewhere in the midpoint, or do what my husband does and just go all out. Cell phones. Yes, I have those clients who work on the cell phones. It drives me crazy. It drives me nuts because when I leave editorial notes, they always say, I can't find any of your notes. Well, I need you to sit down at a computer, a tablet, anything but a cell phone. I mean, cell phones are great to add your notes and whatnot. And hey, if that's all you have, by all means, work from the cell phones. Again, you can probably even get them lower than $50. Probably, Walmart, a $35 plan or something like that. Hey, but whatever it takes to get that thing out, by all means. I text myself. I call myself and leave myself voice messages about ideas or blogs or social media posts. So I use my cell phone as well. Anything on this list I have used or I still use. I mean, I have gadgets here, there, everywhere. I'm a journal person as well. I'm just one of those person who likes to put. I'm one of those people who likes to put my ideas on paper, on a phone, on a tablet. I just like to get all of that stuff out of my head. So whatever it takes, by all means, notebook, paper, laptop, computer, tablet, cell phone. I use binders to kind of log my story. Each story I've ever written has its own binder or notebook where I do character breakdowns and whatnot, where I'll just, stop and play with some thoughts and ideas, even titles. If there's some things I still got to scribble down by hand. So the notebooks, again, $1 up to $20. You can get real fancy with it. So, I've had an amazing time window shopping in office stores. Let me just put it this way. I mean, call me a geek, call me a nerd, but hey, I can spend the afternoon in Office Max and Staples just in awe and just, even picturing that future office that I'm going to have downtown high rise when my company just grows and expands. So, or I don't know, I may stay in my little writing cave that I'm in now as I'm teaching this course. So there's no place like home. Writing computer programs, publisher, what have you. I use Word. I use Office. Like I said, I'm not fancy. I'm one of those people that when it comes to technology, I just want something that's going to allow me to get out what I need out. A phone, I don't. I just switched from the Android to the iPhone. My kids have the iPhones and they would show me all this cool, fancy stuff. So I finally got the iPhone and I'm like, I just like to talk and text. I could have kept the Android. Hey, I could have kept my flip phone. But nonetheless, I want to give you all options. So right down to a pack of pencil and papers. Again, I'm leaving no page unturned, no stone unturned. I want you to go into this thing knowing every little thing you're going to need and what it's going to cost you. Okay, so put your story on paper or a computer. Those are the things. That's about how much it's going to cost you. All right, moving on.
What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? As if getting that thought, that idea, that concept, that message, that book, that story, that testimony out of your head wasn't enough. Oh, my fellow literary artist, my fellow literary entertainer, my fellow creative, my fellow literary industry professional, you are just getting started. Writing is only one aspect of the publishing process. You, my friend, still have to learn the other aspects. And where can you learn those? You guessed it, the Ground Zero Self Published Author Full Course, Building Your Book from Start to Finish, a 2-module course that will cover the time, the work, and the money it really takes to self publish your book from start to finish. And in Module 1, we'll cover the optional spending and optional steps that are a part of the publishing process. That is, if you choose to make them a part of your publishing process, since they are optional.
What you're going to find through this self-publishing process is that there is some optional spending that you may want to consider, depending on what your needs are. You don't have to necessarily invest in them, but you might want to consider doing so.
And in Module 2, we're going to cover non-optional spending and non-optional steps. That means if you want to publish like a pro, if you want to publish in excellence, these steps are a must in your publishing journey. Some non-optional steps and spending and tasks include getting a professional editor, an ISBN number for your book, a barcode, a typesetter, ebook formatting, an illustrator for picture books, copyright. Now I know some of you who know a little something about the publishing process may be saying, well, some of those items on your list, Joylyn, they could kind of fall under the optional spending, the optional steps, the optional tasks. Well, we'll argue about that. We'll discuss that in the full course.
I can't reiterate enough that in Module 2, it's non-optional. The steps you must take, the money you must spend, the time you must invest, it's non-optional if you want to reach your self-publishing goals. If you want to self-publish and you want to self-publish right. I had someone ask me, are there any guarantees? Does Path to Publishing make any guarantees with its courses, with its consulting? And I said, you are your guarantee. You are your guarantee. You can get on this path, you can stay on this path, you can follow all the directions, and you can accomplish the goal of self-publishing your product. You can move on to become a small press, to become an expert in the different areas, to become a paid speaker. You are your guarantee. You have options and you have excuses. Once all of the options have been laid before you, there is nothing left but excuses. So what you decide to do with those, that becomes your guarantee. Are you going to take advantage of your options, or are you going to continue making excuses and not get this thing done? You are your guarantee. Before you start investing any more time and money, I need you to ask yourself. I'm going to stop ever so often and, have you ask yourself a question, because this is serious business here. This is a business here. And I need you to be 100% sure you can put into this what is required, or else it's a waste of your time and money, investment efforts. You could have been doing something else. You could have been growing watermelons or sunflower seeds or something, anything. But you don't ever want to invest all of the time and work and money that it takes to self-publish if you're truly not serious about this thing, if you're not in it for the long haul, if you're weak, faint at heart. Again, this is tough. You're the boss of you. Everything is on your shoulders. Yes, you can outsource different things, but at the end of the day, like I mentioned before, it all falls back to you. So before you start investing any more time and money, I need you to ask yourself, are you willing to invest, truly willing to invest the time, money, dedication, and hard work required to self-publish a book? Do you think readers should invest money in your book if you aren't willing to invest money in your book? Last but definitely not least, do you have a good story that you know someone wants to read? Now, a lot of people will say, oh, people just put all their problems on social media. There's just some things I wouldn't post. I mean, good grief, go see a shrink, go sit on a couch, write in a diary for Pete's sakes. But I am one of those people who love the fact that we have social media. I love the fact that I can go to these different sources and outlets and see what people's problems are and then figure out a way to help them fix it by writing about it. Whether it's fiction or nonfiction, there's so many issues you can address. There's so many problems you can solve in your book. So is there someone out there? Have you seen on social media? Have you asked around? Is there someone out there who you know wants to read what you have, and is what you have good? Because money we can lose, we can waste, we can figure out a way to make more money. But that thing called time, as you all know, we can never get back. So the time you are about to invest in this, away from your family, missing events, birthday parties, soccer practice, you're going to have to make some sacrifices for this thing. So you have to be serious about it. You have to be passionate about it, because that time you can never get back. The money you put into this thing, like I said, sometimes if you're lucky enough, you can get a scratch-off ticket at the gas station and recoup. But that time we can never get back. So what's next? That's easy. Now all you have to do is sign up for the actual Ground Zero self-published author course, where you'll learn the time, work, and money it really takes to self-publish your book from start to finish. Now, I know you're probably tired of me putting emphasis on the word really, but we really do share everything that I'm telling you. I know no single book, no single webinar, single course, single individual has shared with you. I mean, we go from optional spending, we talk about computers, writing programs, file history backup programs, transcribers, grammar programs, book interior, book exterior, shipping costs, metadata, catalog, and publication. You could be on your way to becoming a self-published author. All you have to do is sign up for the course now. Oh, that's right. You want to know the cost. Well, as a special incentive for having signed up for this introductory webinar to the Ground Zero self-published author course, if you sign up for the actual course within the next 48 hours, you'll receive 50% off the original full price of $250.
That's right, just $125 for the 2-module program. That is such a small investment, because let me tell you, after going through this program, you're going to be able to make the decision of whether you are cut out for the self-publishing process, whether you can dedicate and be committed and invest the money it's going to take to publish your book in excellence. Wouldn't you rather invest $125 than jump in head first, not knowing which direction to go, which steps to take, which tasks are optional, non-optional, and end up wasting your time and money, end up wasting thousands of dollars? With $125, you won't be wasting it. Even if you decide, hey, self-publishing isn't for me, it will be an investment in helping you make the right decision to choose the right path to publishing for you and your literary project. But the price of $125 is only good if you sign up within the next 48 hours. So don't risk losing out. Visit the link below, www.joylynmross.com/path to publishing course and register now.
Lose the weight. And no, I'm not talking about that 10 or 20 pounds some of you may have made a New Year's resolution to shed. I'm talking about the weight, putting this thing off, playing the waiting game, making excuses. I don't know how to self-publish. I don't know where to begin. I don't know what steps to take. I don't know how to do some of the steps. That's no longer an excuse, because with the Ground Zero self-published author course, all of those things are at your fingertips. Everything you need to know to do, how to do it, what to do, when to do it, who can do it for you. The fact that you can't do some of these things, it's no longer an excuse, because there are literary industry professionals who can assist you, who can help you get this thing done and get it done right. All you have to do is hop on the path and stay on the path. Follow our directions. We'll get you there safe and sound, and you don't risk getting lost, wasting time, wasting gas money. So sign up now for the Ground Zero self-published author course by clicking the link below. What if you left this earth without a chance to share that book, that message, that story, that gift you have inside of you? A book with a message that could have changed the world. So in closing out the introduction to the Ground Zero self-published author course, I just need you to ask yourself one last question.
You're not going to let Lil Wayne the rapper become a published author, and not you, are you? On a more serious note, because telling your story is serious business. Bill Clinton, years back, right after he had his first memoir published, said anybody over 50 owes it to his family to write down everything that's happened during his life and pass it on. Well, as I've already mentioned, tomorrow is not promised. So even if you're not over 50, it's time to tell your story. It's time to get your story written. It's time to publish your story. If you have any questions about this webinar or the full course itself, or even if you have questions about Path to Publishing's author assistance and literary services, do not hesitate to email Path to Publishing at info@path2publishing.com. You can visit our website at www.path2publishing.com, and while you're there, sign up for our newsletter so that you can receive free writing and publishing tips directly in your inbox. And if you're on Facebook, join the Path to Publishing private Facebook group, where your like-minded fellow creatives, literary artists, literary entertainers, writers, and authors are hanging out, ready to encourage you, support you, and share tips from their own writing and publishing journey. Please note, this course material and the material in all of Path to Publishing's courses is under copyright with the United States Copyright Office. Path to Publishing does have an instructor certification program as well as a literary consultant verification program that will enable you to use our course material inside your own literary consulting and or publishing coaching business. For more information, visit our website at www.pathtopublishing.com. Path to Publishing makes no guarantees about the information, suggestions, and recommendations provided herein. Thank you for joining us for this introduction to the Ground Zero Self-Published Author course. We do hope you will allow us to join you for the next step in your literary journey by signing up for the full Ground Zero Self-Published Author course today.